For what feels like the first time all season, every single Blue Jacket showed up for the whole game. We're going to talk about last night's big win over Calgary on today's Locked On Blue Jackets.
You're Locked On Blue Jackets, your daily podcast on the Columbus Blue Jackets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Blue Jackets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your host, Jay Foster, here to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly about your favorite team and mine, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Before we get started, I want to thank everyone for making this your first listen of the day every single day. We are free and available on all podcast platforms. We're over on YouTube and we are on Sirius XM. I also want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more because right now new customers are going to get $150 in bonus bets when you place a $5 bet. That's guaranteed whether you win or lose. Visit fanduel.com/lockedon to get started. We actually have to start the episode with a little bit of sad news. And that is that my wonderful co-host, Hayden, has decided to step away from Locked On Blue Jackets. There's a couple of reasons in there. I won't go into them, but needless to say, I want to give Hayden a huge thanks for the last 8 months of showing up and doing, going above and beyond, really. Gonna miss him. Always welcome on the show. But it is going to be just me for the foreseeable future. So if that's a hard no for anyone, then sorry, but this is what it's going to be for the next little while. We're going to miss Hayden, but hopefully we'll keep going with some good content for you guys. And speaking of good content, the Blue Jackets won a game for the first time in 2 weeks. They beat the Calgary Flames convincingly as well. And it wasn't. I said this in the intro. Everyone showed up. The goalies showed up. The defense showed up. The offense showed up. That was a good game. That was a good win. Kind of a shaky first period. The Blue Jackets got real lucky. Igor Chinikov, assisted by the referee, scores, and Damon Severson, assisted by Jacob Markstrom, also scores. I thought the 2 goals on Tarasov were a little not great. That second one especially felt a little bit soft to give up, but credit where it's due. He shut them down in the second and third periods. I'm just pulling up the shots. Although the Blue Jackets turned it on. The Flames only had 4 shots in the second period and 8 shots in the third period. So they had fewer shots in the second and third than they did in the first period, where they had 18. So, credit to the Blue Jackets defense for turning it on, and credit to the offense for figuring out how to get the scoring going as well. Alex Texier with the first shorthanded goal of the Blue Jackets season, which it's January 25th. I feel like they should have had a shorthanded goal before then, but no matter. Power play goal from Dmitry Voronkov on a major and an empty net goal from Adam Fantilli. So again, another night for the youth. This one, with 4 of the 5 goal scorers being under the age of 25, at least. I don't even know if Alexander Texier is 25 yet, but a really a good all-round night, honestly. I'm kind of just playing back over the game, and bar that second Flames goal, I'm trying to think of anything that was egregiously bad about this game. The scoring was pretty even. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players got on the score sheet for the Blue Jackets, including Damon Severson with a goal and an assist. You got Chinikov with a goal and an assist, and Adam Fantilli with a goal and an assist. He, I believe, has retaken both team scoring, second place in team scoring and second place in rookie scoring. So that's great to see. It is not lost on me that his scoring came with the man advantage and on the empty net. So not the actual line that he has been playing on, but on the power play, I believe he assisted on Kirill Marchenko's goal, and then he got his empty net goal from Igor Chidakov. So, again, the line's got a little bit wonky at the end there, but like I said, not lost on me that his scoring came away from his line, which not great, but it is what it is. I don't know, man. I'm happy. I'm happy with this game. Like, it's okay. Adam Fantilli is in 4th place in rookie scoring right now. Brock Faber and Marco Rossi have overtaken him. Connor Bedard still sitting at the top somehow. But maybe he'll go on a little bit of a run now. It's been a minute since Fantilli has had a couple of points in a game, but I'd like to see him continue to play not on the line that he's currently on. I don't know when Line A is going to be back. Probably not tomorrow, I would assume. They'll probably announce this just after I've done recording because they love to do that. But we'll see how it goes. The annoying thing is that the Blue Jackets won this game, and so what that means is that they'll probably keep the lines the same, which in and of itself is not like a bad thing necessarily. Because if it works, don't change it. But I still feel like you could get more out of your team. Because again, looking at the forward lines, again, the only one that had a positive 5-on-5 shot attempt differential was the 4th line, the Texier Corrali Danforth line. The Jenner line was under 50, the Sillinger line was under 50, the Voronkov line was also under 50. So something's probably got to give. I don't know what that is yet. We'll see. I would like to see the lines get changed up. The defense, on the other hand, I like the defense a whole lot in that game. And we'll talk about why that is in just a second, but it concerns one big returning player. So we'll talk about who that is and why that is in just a second here on Locked On Blue Jackets. First, I'm going to tell you guys about FanDuel, because the NFL's regular season has wrapped up, but there is still time to get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, and you can bet on the big game, because right now, new customers are going to get $150 in bonus bets when you place a $5 bet, and that's guaranteed. Whether you win or lose, all you got to do, place a $5 bet, and you will get $150 to bet on same game parlays, to bet on the NHL, to bet on the NBA, to bet on the NFL. Like, there's so many different places on the site to bet. There's so many different things you can bet on. The app is super easy to use. They've got a parlay hub, which is the best way to find popular parlays. And they've got an explore tab, so you can just like go in, click around, and see what looks like fun. All of this and more on the FanDuel app and on FanDuel.com. Go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. Welcome back to Locked On Blue Jackets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Make sure you check out SiriusXM if you want to catch the radio broadcast of the Blue Jackets. You can catch every single goal of the Columbus broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Just search Blue Jackets and you will find Bob McGillicuddy and his crew over there. They do a really great job. Let's talk about Zach Werenski, who has not played since the 27th of December, I believe was his last game, and kind of much like Boone Jenner did, jumped straight back in. He played over 25 minutes last night. He was a +3 on the night. He was great. And I think you don't realize, how badly the team missed him and missed him healthy until he came back and were like, oh, well, this is fine. This is much better, actually. This is good. He had a 54% shot attempt share at all situations, which was the best on defense. Jake Bean did a little better than him at even strength, but this team has missed Zach Werenski real bad, man, and it's one of those things where you like I said, you don't know what you're missing until it comes back, and you're like, oh, that's why everything was bad. I think it's taken some of the load off of other players. I know Ivan Provorov played 20 minutes last night. Gabranson only played 15, Severson 19, Boquist 16, and Bean 14 and a half. So a much more even ice time share. Like if you take Werenski out of it, you don't have, Provorov playing 27 minutes a night. You don't have Gabranson playing 24 minutes a night. And I still think that, like, you get the best Zach Werenski that you can if he's playing, maybe 3 minutes less a night. But if you have to pick a defenseman on this team to play a million minutes a night, it's probably going to be Werenski. He jumped right back in, had an assist on the first goal, I believe. The Chinikov goal was, he had an assist on that one. And, just looked really good out there. The power play, we're going to talk about special teams in a minute, but like the power play looked like an actual NHL power play for the first time in a minute. He didn't get an assist on the power play goal, but I was watching some of the earlier power plays. Blue Jackets, I think, had 4 power plays, including that 5-minute major. And they looked good. They looked competent. I thought they were moving the puck well. I think having Werenski up there has been a big help. Provorov is not the answer for PP1, and I don't think Boquist is either. I would put both of them on the second power play unit, if I'm being brutally honest. I think those two guys would probably work a little bit better if they played together instead of just one of them on the power play. But having Werenski back, it makes a difference in a way that I'm still surprised by. He, I believe, is still third on the team in scoring, despite the fact that, again, he's been gone for a month. I'm just pulling up the numbers now because I clicked away from them. He's got 26 points in 35 games. He's only got 1 goal still. He's going to score eventually. But this team is looking like if they can keep Werenski healthy, maybe they have a shot of figuring some things out. If I'm being honest here, we'll see how it goes. Obviously, I'm not sitting here like, man, the team is fixed. Playoffs are underway. Like, we're gonna make the playoffs because of one good game. But that felt promising. And I'm not going to sit here and talk about how close the Blue Jackets are to figuring it out because I'm tired of that. You're tired of that. I've said it about 17 million times this season. But that felt like an encouraging game. They just have to be able to keep Werenski healthy. And they might have to tell David Jiricek to turn around and get back on a plane, honestly, because Adam Boquist out injured. He missed, I think, most of the last period. So that's or like half of the last period. I don't remember exactly when he missed when he left the bench, but that explains again the ice time discrepancy. He only played 16.5 minutes, despite playing with Werenski for the entire game, but lost at least a tooth. So might be back tomorrow against the Canucks. I'd imagine he probably would be, unless it's like way more serious than it looks like. But maybe put a bubble on him, and then I don't know that we'll see Jack Roslovic against the Canucks. So maybe that is Laine's cue to get back into the lineup. Probably not. I think we'll probably see Bemstrom again, which is fine. It is what it is. At this point, I'm kind of used to it. But what is it about Blue Jackets and Flames games, man? Are the Flames just really mad that Johnny Gaudreau didn't sign there? Because obviously they took out Patrick Laine in the first game of the season, or the first matchup of the season between these two teams, and then Jonathan Huberdeau, who is not a player that is known for like throwing his weight around, I don't think, sent Jack Roslovic face first into the plexiglass, and it was pouring blood when he got off the ice. Like it was a mess. So I don't know what's going on there, whether we'll see him. It's gonna be I would imagine we'll probably see a slightly different lineup. But I am not super enthusiastic about the concept of a Fantilli, Jenner, Bemstrom line with Fantilli on the wing. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm gonna keep banging this drum until Pascal Vincent like hears me. I don't I don't understand. And they talked a lot about how he can have more speed on the wing and he can like simplify his game a little bit, but like I don't see that. I thought he looked really good at center. I think he's looked less effective at the wing. Obviously, he scored a goal. He had scored a goal and had an assist last night. But again, one of those was an empty netter, and the other one was on the power play. So like he's not producing at 5-on-5 when he is on the wing. And I would actually be really interested to know what his numbers are, like where he gets his points from. Is it when he's playing on the wing or is it when he's playing at center? Because I suspect he's probably getting more points playing at center. Um, that being said, the power play looks good. The penalty kill looks good. I want to talk a little bit about those special teams, and I also want to touch on goaltending as well. So we'll do both of those things in just a minute here on Locked On Blue Jackets. First, I'm going to tell you guys about Indeed because we're all driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match. With Indeed, they are your matching and hiring platform. They've got over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and they've got a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. And they don't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree that Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, according to a recent survey. I have been lucky enough to not have to job hunt for a little while, but when I have, Indeed is the job site that I use when I am job hunting. So it makes sense that people use it for hiring as well. Listeners of this show are going to get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your job more visibility at indeed.com/locked on. Just go to indeed.com/locked on right now. Support our show by saying you heard about Indeed here. Indeed.com/locked on. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. All right, let's wrap this up. Let's talk a little bit about special teams, and then I want to touch on goaltending again because I don't know that we've answered any of the questions that we had the last time I recorded a podcast. So, Blue Jackets went 1 for 4 on the power play and did not concede a power play goal to the Flames and scored a shorthanded goal. That feels pretty good to me. Considering they have struggled on the penalty kill basically all year. And by all year, I mean like all month, I guess. It was really good at the beginning of the season, has kind of dropped off significantly. They are currently 18th on the penalty kill after being third in the league for a good chunk of the season. And the power play, again, continues to flounder 25th in the league. So, like, neither of them are having a great season, but they looked good in this game. And again, I think I'm going to chalk that up to Werenski being back. In terms of, let me see if I can find where in terms of the power play, they had 16 shot attempts on their power play, and only 8 shot attempts on the Flames power plays. So that second one got a little bit hairy because they had 7 shot attempts in 2 minutes, which seems like too many. But if you flip over to the penalty kill, they generated 4 shot attempts on the penalty kill or on the power play for the Flames. So like it wasn't like a great night statistically speaking, I don't think, for special teams, but they got the goals, which is where it counted. And like frankly, I think the power play, specifically passed the eye test. It passed the vibe check. I would have liked to see more than one goal from fully 9 minutes of power play time, but they got what they needed to do. Where did they have? They had 10 shots in total on the power play. One of them went in, so 10% scoring percent, 10% shooting percentage on the penalty kill and on the power play, excuse me, and they had basically, I think they had like a 100%. Yeah, they had a 100% shooting percentage on the penalty kill, which again, very funny, because I believe Texier's shot hit the post and then he put his own rebound away. And shots on goal don't count. Shots on the post don't count as a shot on goal. So I'm just gonna take this one. There are more things that I could like nitpick about this game and be like, oh well, face-offs were poor across the board, because Justin Danforth was the only. Oh no, Jack Rostovic was 100% on face-offs. He must have taken like one or two. Danforth was at 50%, and every other Blue Jacket that took face-offs was sub 50. Interesting note: Adam Fantilli didn't take a single face-off. So make of that what you will. I just want to finish off by pointing out Danil Tarasov, who had a wobbly first period, allowed 2 goals. Well, I say wobbly. 2 goals on 18 shots is fine. I thought the second goal was a little bit wobbly, but again, shut them down after that. Made 28 of 30 saves, good for a 933 save percentage, and way, way better than the last 2 games he played, where he allowed, I think, 6 goals and 5 goals against the Kraken and the Jets. So now it comes down to who do they play against the Canucks tomorrow. We'll kind of get into that a little bit more in tomorrow's episode. I'm going to do a Saturday episode. We'll preview the Canucks game. We'll probably talk a little bit more about goaltending. Hopefully we'll get an update on Roslovic and Boquist and whether Jiricek is turning around and heading straight back up to Canada. At least he's, getting his air miles collected. But do you start Elvis, who was good against the Canucks when they played them a couple of weeks ago, got the win, or do you play Tarasov, who had a solid night in Calgary? Elvis has had a couple of rough games. And we're right back to kind of what I was talking about, not yesterday, but I think Wednesday's episode. Do you go with the hot hand? Do you keep the rotation going? I miss a couple of months ago when I wasn't stressed about the goaltending. It was the only thing I wasn't stressed about on this team, mind, but I wasn't stressed about the goaltending, and they clearly heard me and took that personally. And so now I think we're just going to have this discussion basically every game. Every game for the rest of the season is going to be, okay, who's playing? Why are they playing? Is it because they were good last game? Is it because the other goalie wasn't good enough? We'll see. I'll get into kind of some more goalie talk kind of in specifics tomorrow, because we'll probably get a better idea. That's coming up on tomorrow's episode. We'll preview the Canucks game and see if we can kind of figure out what went so right in Calgary and what went wrong in Edmonton, and what they need to do to play more like they did last night against the Flames than they did on Tuesday night against the Oilers. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making this your first listen of the day every day. Locked On Blue Jackets continues to be free and available on all podcast platforms. We're over on YouTube. We are on Sirius XM. You can find me on Twitter at _Jacob Foster, JAKOBFORSTER. You can find the show at LO_Blue Jackets. If you have comments, questions, criticisms, you can email us at lockedonbluejackets@gmail.com. Thank you once again for listening. And until tomorrow, make sure you stay locked on.